Hello and welcome to Delves In, where we delve into spooky creepypastas and crazy Reddit stories. I'm Delph. This is the Great Catsby, and we thank you for checking in with us, and we hope you enjoy your stay. We got an interesting episode today. So at this point, we have 24 subscribers, and we have our first user-submitted story, I suppose. Once again, I'm grifting in the Creepcast submissions subreddit, and I posted the previous episode because we had read some stories from the Reddit page, and we had somebody ask if we wanted to read one of their stories, and so in today's episode, we will be reading their story. It's a pretty short story, so we're going to read 3 from the Creepcast submissions. I think in the last episode, at the time of recording that, they hadn't done an episode of their own submissions, but they just did that. So they just released like a grab bag episode of them reading several of their user submitted stories. So, my bad. Just, correcting that. They are now reading some of their own submissions. But I'm still going to read some of their submissions because there's a lot of good stories in there and, they've got a lot on their plate. And I don't. So, we thank you for watching, anybody who does watch this. And once again, I hope the Creepcast submission moderators don't get mad at me for stealing their content. But without further ado, let's go on over here to OK-Location 418 story, The Bright Light. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to read this one?
I'll read.
Okay. Let me get a little zoom going here for you.
Hello. You can call me HydraGhost if you like. I write stories and have always been a fan of horror. I don't know if others feel the same, but I feel horror elements are always overplayed. You know what is truly horrifying? It's the things that itch in the deepest corners of your mind in which you have yet to discover. It's these little compartments where you may think, I didn't think of that, which leaves an endless itch that you'll never truly scratch. I want to kick things off with a rendition. Cut. Uncut. I want to kick things off with a rendition of one of my short stories I had written for college a few years back that I truly adored. May I present you with The Bright Light. As a species, we find ourselves in a curious ultimatum. We are able to understand and acknowledge death. Yet, do we truly know if we understand life also? Bright light. The sobbing and sniffles echoed off the tile floor as I peered at the family's faces I had grown to love over my life. My beautiful wife sat next to me holding my cold hand as tears flowed through the wrinkles on her face like a flood through a canyon. I felt the tears drop from her heavenly face as they puddled onto my hand as if attempting to breathe life back into my husk. My children with their own children also cluttered around me with soiled shiny eyes, twinkling like stars in the sky. We love you, Dad, my oldest son said as pain choked his vocal cords. The statement reinvigorated the continued harmony of suffering and despair around me. They knew I was going to be gone soon, and I knew it as well. I closed my eyes for a brief moment and saw it. It burned within my mind's eye. At first, a small dot, but it slowly began to grow as my own breath began to diminish. It called to me. No, it beckoned me to come. I could feel its gravity pull me inward. Flashing images of the life I lived populated in the hall around me, with the light being at the very end. I slowly drifted through the warm tunnel of ecstasy, as all the fleeting moments I had long forgotten rushed by me. Wake up! No, don't leave me. Just stay with me, Sarge. My eyes reopened for a final moment. I looked down and saw my young, soft hand lift to my eyes, covered in a crimson blood that shimmered in the foreign heat. Most of me was missing, and I screamed a hellish scream that would even turn the devil away for it. It was a scream of such despair and agony that he, too, would have felt sorrow. A man broken for the life I lived within the bright light was catering to my dreams and hopes of what could have been.
I've never read a story that is so sad in so few words. That's actually really, really sad.
It was okay.
You did. I don't think you understood it.
It didn't captivate me.
Are you not? All right, you're a girl. Dude, you're a soldier dying on the battlefield, limbs blown off, IED throwing you all over the place. You look into the bright light and you see a peaceful death that you could have had, surrounded by your children and your wife, but you don't get that.
Right.
That's not the tunnel. That's not the light at the end of your tunnel. You're dead in a desert somewhere.
Right.
I thought that was very well written. For essentially a story that is like a sentence and then 2 paragraphs, that's fucking really good. And I'm not just glazing this guy because they submitted the story to us. That's honestly one of the best short stories, like truly short. Like, what's that, 500 words?
Can we re-record this?
Why?
Can we redo my reaction?
Oh, why? Because you feel like an asshole now? Because you didn't get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Take 2.
Don't be Keon again.
I hope you know all this is staying in, dude. All this is staying in, dude.
No, because they're a viewer, so I don't want to be a dick. I totally forgot
Well,
that
no,
that's what this was.
Well, be honest. Well, dude, don't change your opinion just because they might be watching.
Embarrassed.
You should be embarrassed. I thought it was a fantastic story. I would give this, like, I think I'd give it a 9.8. The only 0.2 that I would change is some of the sentence are a little run-on, I think.
There's a lot of there's a lot of extra big word detail type stuff.
Which, you know, is like English major complaint. You know, it's like, yeah. Like, I don't want to sound like a douchebag or anything. It's a well-written story. Dude, that's really fantastic, actually. Like, because I'll be honest, going into this, I was worried. Like, are we going to read this story and it sucks and we have to shit on this dude? But no, that's great, dude. This is like a Hall of Famer for me. That's a really good story. Speaking of families, my mom recently started watching the episodes, and her only like criticism is she's like, "You touch your hair too much." So I'm gonna keep touching my hair. Fantastic story. I really enjoyed that one. The bright light, that's good. That's I love the imagery there too. I mean, just well done. I fuck with this heavy. Good job, OK Location / HydraGhost. That's really good, dude. All right, you ready to go on to the next one?
Yep.
We're trying to do a short episode here because I'm time crunched again. All right, and we're back. All right, so amendum. We're going to read 2 Creepcast stories and then 1 Am I Overreacting because I didn't like the story we started reading. It was just boring and cringe. Am I overreacting for being freaked out about my boyfriend punching back? Initial predictions?
I wonder if punching is literal or figurative.
Ooh, good question. I wonder if he means punches her back or like he got punched and then punched somebody else back and she's like, red flag, because she's a bitch.
Okay. I don't know.
That's a bitch move if he's defending himself.
Yeah. I hope not.
Me too. Look, Mom, touching my hair.
Because I would, if it were my boyfriend in a fight, I would jump in.
See, and that's the problem. That's always the problem. Women think that they can just get in a fight and they're on equal standing ground. You become a liability instantly.
I don't give a shit.
Stay out of the fight.
No.
If there's another girl to fight, get active. Like their girlfriend.
I'll punch a dude. I don't give a shit.
No, that's the problem though. Is like
I'm the distraction.
No, you're not the distraction. You are in the way.
Not if I come from like
no,
6, you know?
you're in the way. Because
I disagree.
no. Okay, imagine this. Do you remember when we were watching Squid Game season 3? And the whole time, this is a Squid Game spoiler. Skip like a minute ahead if you haven't finished the show. Do you remember when he has that baby wrapped around his chest, and the whole time he's trying to fight off everyone else with a child strapped to him?
Mm-hmm.
Exact same situation.
Disagree.
As soon as you get involved with the fight, it's not me and this dude. It's me trying to protect the baby strapped to my chest and also fight him.
I'm not a baby, nor am I strapped to your chest. Different.
You are.
I'm not.
Your ego thinks that you're on the same level in a fight.
I never said I was on the same level. I'm just going to jump in anyways.
No, you will get your ass kicked.
Okay.
And then I have to worry about you getting your ass kicked and me getting my ass
It's an
kicked.
extra charge for that other fucker, though. More time in jail.
Yeah, cool.
Love that.
After the fact, I guess.
Yeah.
Listen, And I really cannot stress this enough. If I'm ever in a fight, run away.
No.
Go anywhere else but where the fight is.
No,
Yes.
I won't.
Especially if it escalates and the guy pulls a knife or a gun out. I can't play defense for 2 people.
You won't have to.
Yes, I will.
I'm not running away.
You have to run away and call the police.
I'm going to stay.
No, you're going to run
Call the
somewhere
police,
else.
Then jump in.
And what if I get my ass kicked?
Okay. Then I'm an eyewitness.
No, then they can do whatever they want to you. Because I'm bleeding on the ground, you fucking idiot. Run away.
I can defend myself.
No.
Chat.
If you have a gun, sure.
And what if I do?
Okay, well, this isn't a fight at all. It sounds like a pretty easy altercation through and through. All right, whatever. We're moving on. My female 25 boyfriend, male 25, and I were running errands earlier today, Sunday, and he said something that annoyed me. So I jokingly, I thought, gave my boyfriend a few punches while I was driving, 3 total. We frequently do this when I need to address something with him, and I usually accompany it with a, "Hey, I'm upset with you about this," and we laugh because my hits don't bother him. He has never expressed pain at my force because I don't do it to hurt him. I honestly don't know why I do it. I feel like it's something that gets his attention completely on me so I can discuss things with him, but I never thought it hurt him or I would not do it. Just the day prior, I did this and he was laughing and we ended up wrestling around on the bed, so I didn't think he would be in pain. He got medical IVs on Friday and I punched him on Saturday night and he was laughing, but then I punched him on Sunday when we were driving and he just stared at me. So I punched his arm 2 more times and he wound up and punched me hard on my arm. So hard I gasped and just looked at him. I thought if he ever had a problem with me play punching him, he would say so. I would never do it to hurt him. I understand my intent doesn't necessarily match the impact, so if he ever told me I was hurting him, I definitely would stop immediately. I'm not perfect, and I can definitely see how I could have accidentally hurt him if I punched harder than I intended. My problem is that he didn't tell me that. He punched back hard, the way a man is capable of. I had him drive because I was crying and told him I was upset that I felt like he hit me to punish me. He mocked me saying, "You're upset you punched me?" Then said I should have known punching him would hurt his arm because of the shots he gotten the other day, and he's been saying how bad his arm hurts. I don't recall that. I only recall he said his arms hurt on Saturday, and that's why he wanted to delay errands for a day. I apologized and said I wasn't thinking about that, and was more so thinking of the play punching I did yesterday that made him laugh. I told him I didn't initially think I hurt him, and that I'm sorry I did. He said sorry if he hurt me, which made me feel like nothing. He still maintains he didn't punch me to teach me a lesson or out of anger, and that he punched me because I punched him. He then said that I definitely knew how hard I punched him, because if his punch to me hurt me, then that was only because he was matching my punch power, which made no sense. If I hit with all my might, which I definitely was not, barely even 5%, then that's going to feel a lot different than a grown man's full might. I reminded him he is a lot stronger than me, and he just kept saying, "I didn't hit you that hard." I then argued that I only hurt him because of the shots on his arm, but he punched me hard enough to hurt me on contact. I later asked if he could kind of see where I am coming from in thinking that he hurt me out of anger, and he said, "I guess." He mentioned he was frustrated that I kept hitting him. My idea is that I hurt him, and instead of communicating to me that I hurt him, he decided I did it maliciously and hit me back because he was angry and can't admit that maybe hitting me wasn't good of him. I fully apologized for hitting him multiple times, and he gave me that half-assed apology once. I feel very weird now. He's off to work. My head is a jumble. Is this as bad as I think it is, or are we both doomed and toxic? I know I shouldn't be punching, but I cannot stress how much I did not intend to be hurtful. I would have stopped immediately if I knew it hurt him. I'm not excusing myself because I should have read the room better and remembered his arm was hurt, but that's where my head was at. I'm pretty freaked out about this whole thing now. Would I be this freaked out if a friend of mine did this to me? Should I consider the fact that he's a guy and this makes the situation even worse? Should he know his own strength? Should he have apologized immediately, or am I the one in the wrong? After all, this is my relationship and I don't know what to think. Oh, sorry, this is my first relationship and I don't know what to think.
commented on it so far.
Oh, this is
Damn it.
fresh then. Go up to the top. This was 1 minute ago. We are fresh here, dude.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, don't hit your girlfriend. Like, period. He clearly did that out of anger. She hit him in the sore spot. It hurt his arm really bad. And whether he did it as in like a, ow, that hurt, fuck you, or like a reaction. Because I get, like, if she hit him hard in the arm and he was like, ah, and just kind of like reacted.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the situation, he should have apologized. Sorry, I hit you full force. I shouldn't have done that. That's my bad. Please don't hit my arm. It really hurts. That's the adult thing to do. He's clearly gaslighting and trying to play it off like he didn't wind up and hit her.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
This is a perfect example as to why communication is so important. She mentioned communication later in her dialogue here, but earlier in the story, she lost me because she said, I honestly don't know why I do it. I feel like it's something that gets his attention completely on me so I can discuss things with him. I don't like that. I wouldn't like it if it were a man to a woman or a woman to a man. If you have to hit, playful or not, your partner to feel like they are giving you attention, that's not good. Just from the jump. So I think they're both wrong, personally. I think that they should find a better way to talk about things that she wants to talk about. And if you have to hit your boyfriend to get him to talk to you, maybe you shouldn't be together.
Well,
And then I also think that, yes, it was a reaction, and he should have apologized. However, she's not innocent.
Yeah, I'm not... Listen, your relationship, I don't think it's a red flag necessarily, but I'm not like a play fighter, like with my friends or even really you. Like, well, like, obviously there's like wrestling and tickling and shit like that, but I'm not like a play fighter. I don't like to be hit. I don't like to hit other people, even if it's a joke. Some people, that's just how they are. That's like their love language in a way, is like that kind of like play wrestling shit. If that's how you are, that's fine, but there might be a chance that he doesn't like that.
And just doesn't want to say.
And it's been building up, and then this just happened to be like the final straw.
Again, communication.
Exactly. And he needs to tell you that, like, hey, I actually don't fucking like it when you like play punch me, even if it's playful and you don't mean to hurt me. I still don't like it. So maybe that's something that you should bring up too. Like, hey, do you even like it when I do that? Like, is this a playful thing that we're both on the same page about, or is this something that annoys the shit out of you?
Right.
So that's just something else to think about.
Agreed.
I don't think you're overreacting. I just think that there needs to be a conversation.
There's a deeper meaning.
Yeah, there's more going on here.
Yeah, than just he got shots in his arm the other day.
Yeah.
And you hurt him on accident. There's way more going on.
Yeah. So, I think, I don't know, Reddit, and I say this every time we read the Reddit story, Reddit is obviously going to go like, he's abusive, divorce him. And it's like, I don't think you guys need to break up over this. I just think that you guys need to sit down. It's your first relationship, so this could be a very good learning lesson. Honestly, this is a teachable moment of communication. Just sit down with him and don't put any blame on him. Don't put any blame on yourself. There doesn't need to be like you're wrong, I'm right. Just be like, hey, do you like it when I do this? See what he says, and then go from there. Like, just talk about it. Don't try to like push anything. Don't try to rip an apology out of him, a real one. But also don't like apologize yourself necessarily. Just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Be normal. Doesn't need to be a fight. I don't think you're overreacting. But,
Nor does the conversation have to be personal.
Yeah. Be very matter of fact.
You as a person, or you as a girlfriend, or him as a boyfriend, or whatever. It's literally just like, does it bother you when I play hit you?
Right.
Yes or no?
But yeah, not too shabby. I mean, man, we're fresh, dude. That's a 1 minute story. This is from B Bitch.
BEE.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right. So we just read 2 stories, and I think we're gonna cut both of them. So.
Both? I thought just the one.
The other one with the poem?
Oh.
Yeah, the poem and then that last one are getting cut.
Okay.
So We're going to read 2 stories. Here on out. Hard cut.
No, the first one.
It's great. We're leaving that one.
Okay. So we're just rereading. We're just reading
Yeah.
one extra.
Bright light staying in. That one's amazing. I love that one. All right. So our final story for tonight comes from JMini20 on the Creepcast submissions. Unit 3A keeps eating my tenants. I love this so far. I have been having a lot of trouble sleeping and keeping all of this to myself. I tried to talk to my family, who immediately disowned me, so here I turn to a community that might understand. I'm not sure I'm real anymore, or what isn't, or what is. The swirling enigmas and holes in time that rewind my emotions like the hands of a drunken clock blend the world together and drain my attention. Lately I'm unaware, tethered to reality by things so unusual they shock me back into existence, as if I were recently reanimated Benjamin Franklin performing the famous kite experiment in a storm that billows like stuffing between the tattered threads of an ancient voodoo doll from an alternate universe. We're so back. Whoa. It was during one such moment, one of those brief electrical jolts back into clarity, that I found myself standing in front of the first property on a list. I've seen a lot of places by now, but this one was different. On the outside, it smelled of antique candle wax, and the floorboards screamed like drowning pigeons. Upon unlocking the front door, the scent of the rusty old iron key pressed against my palm paired well with the echoing cough of a lawyer who had definitely been dead for several decades, but still insisted on shaking my hand like a wet rag. "I presume you are Jonas Zisman?" he said without asking, like someone proclaiming the weather or commenting on the state of traffic. "I am certainly Jonas Zisman." That's what the charred papyrus envelope said when it slipped under my door 3 nights ago at precisely 3:33 a.m. Coincidentally, the exact time and date of my birth, postmarked from elsewhere and any place. My own name was scrawled in ink that smelled faintly of my childhood attic and pressure-cooked roadkill. I had been instructed to arrive at the very building that stood before me at exactly this time. I bet pressure-cooked roadkill actually smells pretty good. Anyway.
You said that?
Yeah!
Just checking.
You disagree?
I wasn't gonna give my opinion. I was just making sure that you said that and it wasn't the story.
Yeah, no, that was my opinion. Okay. According to the note, I had died exactly 1,111 years ago, choked to death by a cursed Fabergé egg during a seance-themed brunch in Prague. The physical will, which was handwritten in very angry Latin and some kind of red fungus that seemed to grow and write sentences before my very eyes, declared me the sole heir to every property ever acquired, sold, built, or condemned, haunted or otherwise, inhabited by the supernatural. Congratulations, the decaying lawyer continued. You now own 66,666.6 structures spanning 666 jurisdictions, including at least 3 squared. Wait, what's to the power of 3? That's not squared. At least 3 to the power of 3 that exist outside linear time. He then handed me a skeleton key the size of a goat's femur. The first of those properties I visited was called the Hovel of Gentle Agonies, as indicated by a beautiful hand-carved stone plaque at the end of a long, overgrown driveway. The hovel was in a southern New Hampshire, perched on a cliff like a cow waiting to leap over the blood moon. I walked through the door and immediately a soft choir of anguish began, like a demon's yoga student trying to mask the chronic pain of slightly inhuman contortion caused by the evil spirit that possessed them. It wasn't loud, just persistent. The wallpaper sighed when I touched it. The plumbing wept during the night. The coffee table giggled when I thumped my shin. The mirrors refused to reflect me unless I first apologized for kicking the table. I lived there for 3 days before the lamps began whispering my name backwards, and I decided I should probably visit a property more charming. I mapped my new real estate empire across a massive wall in my new office, to which I had laid claim inside of an abandoned lighthouse off the coast of Rhode Island. Its only tenant was a taxidermied clam named Mr. Gate, who offered unsolicited advice during thunderstorms. I taped Polaroids to the bricks with adhesive bandages, paid as rent from a mummy in room 216 of my New York apartments, and wrote notes in lipstick stolen from an angry Bigfoot I accidentally evicted in Maine. Every property had rules. At the estate of rotting clocks, time moves slower the more you panic. At Mr. Veneer's farmhouse, the stairs always lead deeper if you happen to smell rosemary. The Chateau of Forgotten Dreams will only let you in if you pretend to faint. I started sleeping less and drawing more. A pet fish I hadn't seen since childhood, Larry, began showing up in different rooms of the properties, always just out of reach. Sometimes swimming among chandeliers, held aloft only by dust carried from an impossible breeze. Other times, he would be flailing quietly on a cursed chifforobe. Once I found him submerged in a fresh casserole made of icy jello and swollen shrimps, his black eyes looking upward like he'd seen something I could not. I'm not sure when the comedy began. Maybe it was the moment I realized none of the ghosts could actually hurt me. They had certainly tried, but they quickly realized I always carried a yo-yo and several harmonicas. Maybe it was the moment I realized Or maybe it was when I inherited the duplex in Salem that bled molasses during the solstices and demanded daily affirmations in Hebrew. There's something undeniably hilarious about being screamed at by a 17th century poltergeist who just wants you to appreciate his woodworkings of tiny little fairies. Still, between the laughter, there are moments, dark ones, moments where I wake up to find my own footprints circling my bed and my bloody fingerprints sealing letters to properties I haven't yet visited, where letters arrive written in my own handwriting addressed to the other Jonas. Moments where the police show up at one of my many doors I lay behind, asking what happened to so-and-so or what's their name. That's the part that haunts me, the thing that really keeps me awake. Unit 3A. There is an old building in Southie that's 99% normal. That's the worst part, really. Normalcy has a way of putting you to sleep just before the nightmare slithers under your skin. I own the entire place. A modest brick structure with charming leaded windows and a history of quiet despair. I let tenants believe it's a rent-controlled relic from the 60s, untouched by gentrification and ghosts. It's mostly true. I hire a small team for logistics and maintenance, and the place runs itself. Unlike the shrieking houseboat in Delaware or the pregnant tomb I own in Finland, this one is downright pleasant. No bleeding pipes, no gravity anomalies. I even get paid in money. Real bills and checks, not the eyeglasses of a blind butterfly or snake hands, which I still have in a shoebox somewhere, collecting a mild stench and a stronger aura.
Chat, that's so aura.
But every year, on the 76th day, at exactly 1:23 a.m., the building changes its mind about being normal. I don't hear it directly. The walls do, the plumbing does, my tenants do. Sometimes even the rats write things in the dust that say things like, "Not again. Why does it scream so long?" Sounds like a horse, or someone becoming a horse. Screaming, not in the panicked, shallow way, but in a slow, endless way, reserved for those who see their own death coming through a keyhole. Some say it sounds like burning. Others say it's wet, like something being unzipped the wrong way. One time, someone claimed they could hear galloping right before the sound cut off completely. Another claimed the galloping came after. Always it's followed by a phone call. It's happening again. Apartment 3A. They're gone. I always make a trip to Boston the next morning. Not by car or train. Mr. Gate, my accountant/clam statue, who can only speak in compound interest rates, recently installed a new access door that floats just over the railing of the Rhode Island lighthouse I use as a summer office. It opens into the boiler room of the Southie building. I try not to question how this works. Gates once told me it was a spatial tax write-off. Once I arrive, I climb the stairs, nod to the janitor with gills, who was always drinking the last of the bottled salt water I provided the staff, and descend toward the heart of the building. By then, the cleanup crew, clad in hazmat suits with antlers carved into their plastic hoods, is already on their way out. They carry bulging bags they never let me see into, muttering phrases like voluntary dechimerization, residual gallop. Apartment 3A is always open. It never locks. You can weld it shut or board it up, and somehow the door still swings wide the next time it's needed. The first thing I feel isn't the smell, though. Though it's there, thick and metallic, like singed bone and marrow and spilled paint, it's the silence. A silence so deep, it feels like you're underwater inside your own brain. Then the air changes. The light dims, even though there are no windows. Sometimes the ceiling breathes. Sometimes the ceiling stares. The walls speak, but not in English, not in anything shaped like words. They emit a sound like the throat of someone holding back tears underwater, the voice of a memory that forgot how to survive. Still, I understand the message. Feed me. I never bring food. I never plan to feed it. But every time I stand there, something happens. That dread, that coiling, buzzing thing in my gut begins to unspool. I get dizzy. I remember things I shouldn't. Every embarrassing moment of my childhood arrives uninvited. Knocking my lunch off the table in 2nd grade, calling my teacher mom twice in 1 week, wetting the bed on the overnight trip to the aquarium and trying to blame it on the fish tanks. The room knows. It feeds first on shame. Sometimes I hear a second voice behind me, but when I turn around, it's just Larry, the ghost of my childhood fish, propped up on the radiator, his shiny silver scales glinting in the dark like disapproving stars. His fins are outstretched, like he's waiting to be hugged, or maybe crucified. I don't know how he gets here, but I don't ask anymore. He's always clean and freshly shaven, like someone's taken care of him. Eventually, something always clicks. Inside me or in the room, I can't tell. A thought that isn't mine floats up and plants itself. It tells me who to send next. Apartment 2B, the thought says. He hasn't paid rent in weeks. 3A is an upgrade for him. And that's how I know the room is still hungry. They say legacy is what we leave behind. But what if it's what we inherit by mistake? What if every property is just another version of myself locked behind deadbolts and plaster, screaming gently? I long for any distinction between what I am and what I become, between jokes and omens, between the keys in my pocket and the place they insist I return to. For now, I will roam. I continue to catalog. I sleep in clawfoot tubs and sing lullabies to doors before I open them. And wherever I go, I'll write about it. Surely someone else has been to one of my buildings. Maybe one of my lots or garages, one of my mini libraries or graveyards. If you have, please, give me some updates. I can only do so much, and I'd hate to make my tenants angry. I like that one.
That was a lot.
I thought it was great.
I liked I liked how it was written. I liked it's interesting. I liked and I hated it.
It was very vivid. There's a lot. But I enjoyed it.
It's like
I felt like Beetlejuice.
the way that I was listening to it was like when you talk to someone who has a really heavy foreign accent and you really have to concentrate to understand what they're saying. That's what it felt like to listen to.
It's very describe heavy.
Describe heavy with making sense and also not.
I think that's on purpose, though.
I know it is, but just as a listener,
I quite enjoyed it, actually. It really kind of opens up a very fun universe. I like it a
also
lot.
like how nonchalant the dude is.
Oh yeah,
That's funny.
I think it's great. It feels like a Beetlejuice, like an underworld that's like mirrors our world, though.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think it's very cool, very fun. That was a fun read. It's not what
Very
I thought it
demure.
was going to be. Very demure. Shout out to JMin20. J-Mini, excuse me. That was a good ass. That was a good ass story too, dude. 2 solid stories back to back like that. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing in between them.
We got lucky, chat.
I can be happy. This might be a short episode once I cut it down, but I need a short episode to edit. So yeah, once again, thank you to OKLocation418/HydraGhost, and thank you to JMini20. Your stories were fantastic. This is a really solid episode. I like this. You want to ask a question of the day? I got one. Question of the day: should we get Taco Bell and Jack in the Box? Leave in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you liked us reading these stories. This episode's kind of weird, but yeah, thank you to the people who have already subscribed. Please leave a comment if you like the episodes, what we should change, how we should, try to make these better. Thank you so much for watching. Got anything?
Goodbye.